Tzvi Ze'ev ben Moshe Menachem Olav Shalom. Who was the other sponsor we had last night? What was his name? Tzvi Moshe ben Eliezer. So somebody pointed out that last night and today, both Zecher Nishmas are both Tzvi. And we were learning Daf Tzav. It was interesting. Okay, so Zecher Nishmas Tzvi Ze'ev ben Moshe Menachem. Real quickly about the Nifter. The Reb Eli, it's Lili Nishmas Meshver, Professor Harry Freeman. He was a university professor, scientist, as well as a Lamdan, well versed in Kabbalah, and so much more. They sent me a whole voice note with a pshat that he said, beautiful pshat, born in Frankfurt in 1931, grew up during the pre-war years, and was hidden as a child for 2 years in a small apartment in Antwerp. The encounter that guided his entire life was when, you hear this, one encounter guided his whole life. Some neighborhood Goyish kids were making fun of the fact that he believed in Hashem and claimed that all existing in the world was true was pure science. So at that moment he decided to become a scientist and prove the existence of Hashem through science. So he did until literally his last hours of Olam Hazeh. V'chulu, I'm not going to go into the pshat, very nice pshat, on Kof Aleim Har Kegigis, the neshama should have an aliyah. Here's a beautiful, beautiful email. Unfortunately, he wants to remain anonymous. Thanks to the 8-minute daf, the subject, our 15-year-old severely dyslexic son made a siyum on Mesechtes Brachos. Dear Rebbe Shlita, I wish to share with you this amazing achievement and an incredible experience of Shepping Yiddish and Nachas. We have this chus of your 8-minute daf. You know me personally, I wish to remain anonymous. We have a son who has been diagnosed with a severe case of dyslexia. He can barely read a straight line of Chumash, even with Nekudis, not to mention without Nekudis. After years and years of untiring efforts we invested, trying many different methods, exercises, remedies, you name it, we found ourselves financially, mentally, and emotionally thoroughly exhausted, and with a very unmotivated young yeshiva bacher, very distressing to us all, to say the least. The yeshiva system he's currently in is not particularly exciting. This person, I know him, he's a very chashuv person, and a lot of people know him in the neighborhood, is not particularly excited or attracted to him. Even though he's a very sharp and bright kid, he has a very hard with staying focused and has a very short concentration span, which makes learning Gemara so much more challenging for him. Needless to say, he was convinced Gemara learning is not for him. Now, being quarantined at home over this corona period, seeing me following your daily 8-minute Daf Yomi, as I often use it for Chazara, I encouraged him to follow from the beginning of Brachas. He instantly got very excited, the colorful charts, and all the other visual aids is just what he needed. Obviously, reading the Gemara inside is certainly a non-starter for him. Following your full shir, it's also overwhelming for him. But the 8-minute daf was a tailor-made gift from heaven made just for him. He set aside a daily kfiyas, watching the 8-minute daf, absorbing the ideas and concepts. Baruch Hashem, much tower of delight, made a grand seam on the entire brachas last week on Shavuos in our home. What an amazing achievement and great Yiddish and Nachas to us, and of course to himself. But the real credit goes to you, the amazing, enjoyable Magid Shir. He's now so excited and motivated that he decided on his own to carry on with the 8-minute daf in Mesechtes Shabbos and is already holding on daf Zayin. I hope that by the time he gets to daf Lamed, hey, there's a few gaps over there. And Pei Gimel. I'm not going to mention about the dafim in Shuas. Wow. Okay, beautiful. What? It's Mechayev. It's not like I'm not trying. I didn't invite Shabbos in. It just came. Shabbos came. That's why I couldn't record last night. I couldn't record Erev Shabbos. Oh boy, I'm in big, big trouble. And our editor is going out of town this morning, so we got a problem. Okay, it may never have occurred to you when putting in so many hours preparing these incredible masterpieces of work that not only Yeshiva-lite and Balibatim will benefit greatly for them. This guy is a real Yeshiva guy, a real chashuv person. But you will also bring an underachieving dyslexic teenager on board and give him the geschmack tam in a black Gemara. We're eternally grateful to you and your team for all the work you put in. You hear? The team. You, Gary, you guys up there. May Hashem give you all the koyach to go, Mechail, Choil, being Marbitz Torah, and Mekadashim Shomayim, Barabim, Amen. Forever grateful parents, Beit Shemesh. Shkoyach Gadol, thank you for the beautiful email. Rabbi say, send in your email, send in your pictures. It's beautiful stuff. It's very mechazik. It's mechazik me, mechazik the team, mechazik everybody that hears them. Beautiful. Good morning, everybody. again, these are the usuals. I see the same guys every time. I need another page. Shmuley Lemmer and Shlomi Klein. Oh, because it's Sunday, so Shlomi Klein is on. Rabbi Isai, I want to give a tremendous hakaras to Shlomi Klein. He sent me a tremendous amount of coffee. I never got it. But the Yiratzin Ki'ilu, I got it. That's the Israeli post office, and I really appreciate it, especially now that I have a lot of coffee from Harry Shalom. But Yiratzin, I consider it, Shlomi, as if you gave me a lot of coffee. I'm Mikabel Bahava. Thank you, Shkoyach. Thanks. All right. We are holding on Daf Tzadik Beis Omd Beis Tzvi. For the two tzvis, the neshama should have an aliyah. We're discussing Shnaim Shosu. If two people do a malacha on Shabbos, two people carry something outside, chayiv, not chayiv, there's basically three cases. Either two people are carrying something really light, where each one could carry it on his own, or that is a case of they're doing it shaloi kederach. That's not the way to carry something. You don't need a second person. So that should be similar to shaloi kedarka, klach riyad. Then you have two people carrying a very heavy object. And that is more likely. That's something that we do. Two people carry a refrigerator. That's normal. That's the way to do it. Shnaim shasu, chayev or pater, machlokes. Why would I say that he's pater? It makes sense that two people are carrying it. They're each carrying a tremendous amount of weight. They should be both chayev. And then we have a case that one of the people could carry it on his own, but the second one cannot carry it on his own. Let me ask you a question. I'm just curious to see how you think on your own svara, and everybody on Zoom is welcome to pitch in with a thumbs up or thumbs down. You have a case where somebody could carry it on his own. Comes along another individual, you could picture in your mind a little weakling, this big muscle guy, and then a little weakling comes and helps him out. The weakling can't carry it on his own. The strong guy could carry it on his own. They both did it together. What's the halacha? Machlokes. This weakling that carried it, that helps him, is he a weakling? Or he could be also a really, really strong guy that could carry it on his own. He just happens to be using his pinky. You hear the shayla? Right now, it's not on his own. Right now, he's using his pinky. And as is, he cannot carry it on his own. Perhaps no, he could carry it on his own, and therefore it's not a good case. This is not a good example because this guy works out all day long. He has huge muscles. And he can carry it on his own. He decided not to. That's not considered a guy that can't carry it on his own. What do you guys think? This is a good case or not a good case? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Anybody on Zoom? Thumbs down. In Crown Heights, they say thumbs down. What do he say? He says in between because he's going to say machlokes. That's Bloomberg. More Bloomberg. No, what do you guys say? Anybody? Again? Should I say the shayla again? No. What do you say? He can't do it by himself. He could do it by himself. He's very strong. Just he's using his pinky right now. Is that considered? Right now he's not helping. He's helping a little bit. A pinky's worth. Who cares? Well, okay. You're saying it's a shinui.
What's he doing? What's he contributing to?
1 pound worth. He's helping out in 1 pound.
So without him, you can't do it?
Without him, he could. Ruvain is very strong. He could hold himself. Shimon is also very strong. Could hold himself. But he's using a pinky.
You're going to say something. That's what you're going to say.
That's what I'm asking.
No,
so I'm saying Tosfos says on Tzadik Gimel Amud Aleph, if you look in Dibra Maskal Omar Mar, the middle of the page, near Lari, Dayani Yachal Haynu Afilu Bal Koyach Harbe, a very, very strong man. Elishu Noisa HaKoyer Bein Zeh, Chaga Shemol Yachal Enos Levad Kigoyim Be'etzba. Says Tosfos, even this guy that's using one finger, he right now is a guy that any Yachal. Interesting. I just want to know. I thought maybe you guys would think something different. Says the Gemara Menani Mili. What is the source of the whole machlokes here? The Tanur Rabbanon Ba'asoiso. It says in the pasuk, V'im nefesh achas techta b'shgogo me'am ha'oretz ba'asoiso. Achas b'kol mitzvos ba'asoiso. He did it. He did the avera. What's ba'asoisa? Daf tzadik beis and beis, like 4 lines from the bottom. Ha'isa is kula v'lo ha'isa is miktsasa. Ba'asoisa, ba'asois oisa. It's like 2 words. He does it. It means he has to do the full avera. Ketzad shnayim shoyu oichazim b'malgeis. If 2 people are holding onto a pitchfork, v'loigzin, and they start piling up wheat. What is that called? Ma'amer. It's the malacha ma'amer, piling it up. Bikirkar v'shoiftin. So we're going to talk a little bit about it at the end of this year. But there's a stick that goes right over here where this yellow guy is, and it pushes down or right over here maybe, pushes down the chassis. Some sort of stick that pushes down these guys. So two people hold on to the stick. Bikulmos, on a pen. 2 people hold on to a pen and start writing. Bikana, or to a piece of wood. Vaitzilu shusarabim. Shnayim shosu. Yachal yuchayavim. I would think, in other words, and each one could do any one of these acts by himself. He doesn't need the other guy. It's ze yachal v'ze yachal. So we learn from the pasuk ba'asoisa. You have to do the entire malacha yourself. You can't have help from anybody else. Top of Tzadik Gimel Amud Aleph. Bi'igul shel dveila. What they would do in those days, they wanted the figs to last all year, so they'd take a barrel and stuff it with figs. Stuff and stuff and stuff. It hardened, dried out, whatever, and then they would undo the barrel, and what do they have? This round chunk of, now how much does that thing weigh? A ton. I don't know, not a ton literally, but I don't know, 150 pounds. You know, a full barrel full of figs. It's very heavy. So you need 2 people for that. Vayitziu l'rishus harabim, b'koira, a large beam, vayitziu l'rishus harabim. Rabbi Yehuda lo yachal echad lo yitziu, vayitziu shnayim chayavim. Rabbi Yehuda says this is the derech to carry it. You usually need 2 people, 2 movers, so both are chayiv. V'im lav p'turim. If one of them could do it himself, so the 2 of them together, they are potter. That's not the derech to do it. Reb Shimon Omer, af al pi shelo yachal echad lo yitziu, vayitziu shnayim p'turim. Even if one by himself cannot do it, and they did it anyway, they're both potter. The Gemara is going to learn that from the Pesukim. Lekach nemer ba'asoisa. Yachid shasa chayav shnayim shasu p'turim. So Reb Shimon takes this to the extreme, and he says, even if it's an extremely heavy object, and typically 2 people take it out, so it's the normal way to do it. It's not a shinui like you called it. It's the normal way. It's the derech. Nevertheless, potter shnayim shasua. He takes it literally all the way to the end. The easiest case, he says, is potter. So where's the machlokes? B'haikro v'im nefesh achas techta b'shgaga me'am ha'aretz ba'asoisa. Reb Shimon savar tlasa miyuti ksivi. So Reb Shimon says, if you look at the pasuk here, nefesh doesn't say nefashis. Nefesh means 1 individual. Achas, 1 individual. Ba'asoisa, he does it 1 individual. So the pasuk is telling you 3 times it's an individual. So it's 3 miyutim, 3 cases of a non-individual, of 2 people doing something, that they are potter. And he learns like this. Nefesh techta, achas techta, ba'asoisa techta. What does that mean? You take this green word, techta. Oh, it's up there. You guys can look if you can't see it here. Gewaldig. You take each one of the red words and you put it together with the green. Nefesh techta, achas techta, ba'asoisa techta. Each way, that what? 3 individual limudim. Chad limu'utei ze oiker v'ze meniach. Now, if you have 1 miyud in the pasuk, what would you come to exclude? The simplest case, the easiest case to exclude, and that is ze oiker v'ze meniach. You have in Hilchas Shabbos, you need an akira and a hanacha. You need in order to be over an Eitzah, you need to do two things. You need to lift it off the ground and walk into another domain and put it down on the ground, or put it down within 3 tfachim, whatever it is we learned yesterday. Kira hanacha. So if Reuven did the akira and Shimon did the hanacha, you don't have these things. You're missing. So that's the easiest case. That's pashut. You didn't do the akira that we had in the first Mishnah of the Masechta. What's the first Mishnah of the Masechta? If a guy is holding something in his hand, and he takes it out to Rosh Hashanah, and somebody else removes it from his hand and puts it down in Rosh Hashanah, they're both potter, because they didn't do akira and hanacha. So that's chad lemutei zoikev zemaniach. Now, since I have a second limud, what am I going to do? I'm going to use it for the second easiest case. And what is that? The chad lemutei zeyachal v'zeyachal. If both of them could lift a loaf of bread, it's a small loaf of bread, like we had in yesterday's Mishnah, then these guys are doing something different, weird, unusual. And if they both carry one loaf of bread from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, they're potter. How do I know it? From the second mute in the pasuk, achas techta. So the first nefesh techta, that's the simplest case. Achas techta is the second simplest case. V'chad amutei zeini yachol v'zeini yachol. V'chad amutei zei yachol v'zei yachol. V'chad amutei zeini yachol v'zeini yachol. If both of them, so here's the extreme case. If both of them cannot do the malach by themselves, it's a really heavy refrigerator, a beam, or this funny picture, I don't know why he did this, a really, really, really heavy loaf of bread that they both can't do it by themselves. Each one individually won't be able to do it. I think he's trying to be funny or something. I don't know. Yoni.
It could make it break.
But that doesn't break. Okay, fine.
Should have brought an example of the Meraglim carrying the fruit. Unless it's very supposed to be.
Yeah, but better is a example from the Gemara. Eagle shel dveila kaira, a beam, a steel beam from Manhattan. There's like more like it. Okay, fine. Let me show you. Yeah, that's okay. No, because he was trying to.
Placement for Subway.
Product placement, says Avi. But I think he was trying to compare it because his other picture was a small loaf of bread. It was 2 people only. So this was a large. Okay, whatever. We're not going to go into Yoni now. He's a great artist, and we really appreciate the fact that he lets us use his pictures. So I'm not going to start criticizing. What? That's what he was saying, that it's going to break. That's Yaakov. Yaakov Rosedale said that it could break. Right, you can't do it on your own, whatever. You can't get through the doorway and maneuver, so you need to know. Right, okay, fine. So that's a huge chiddush. The fact that I cannot lift this myself, either it's too heavy or it's whatever it is, whatever the reason is, I can't do it myself. And my friend comes and helps me. We both can't do it by ourselves. Together we move it outside. To say that we're both potter, that's huge. Says Gemara, that's what I learned from the third limud. The Rabbi Yehuda, but Rabbi Yehuda doesn't learn that case. On that third case, he's mechulek. Why? He admits, Rabbi Yehuda doesn't argue that there's 3 limudim. He says there are 3 limudim. But guess what? I need the third limud for something else completely, a different halacha. So I'm only stuck with 2. I'm left with 2 limudim. If I'm left with 2 limudim, I can only learn the first 2 things. And the third big chiddush, I don't have what to learn. I can't learn it. So he says, the simplest case. One limud in the pasuk comes to tell me if Reuven did akira, he lifted up from Rosh Hashanah, brought it out to Rosh Hashanah, and then v'zemaniach, and somebody else, Shimon, takes it out of Reuven's hand and puts it down. We call him in the Mishnah ani, whatever, la mishaneh, v'chad lemutei ze yachal v'ze yachal. And the second meal comes to say the in-between case, somewhat of a chiddush, that if both, Rachamim, right over here, man, right over here, he's looking at the screen. I'm 2 feet away from you. What are you looking?
You look skinnier on the screen.
I look better on the screen. Great, thank you. Yeah. They say the opposite. No, they say that the screen like adds weight or something. I turn, like you have to turn quick. If I turn quick enough, I can catch myself talking. There's a delay, Rabbi said. There's like a 2-second delay, so I could actually watch my own cheer. Yeah, here we go. Rabbi, you guys know I'm into myself. I need a screen of myself over there. Forget the whole Zoom. I just want to watch myself the whole shir. Yeah, it's coming. Okay. 75-inch, please. Thanks. So the second one comes to exclude when both of them can do it, but they happen to be crazy, lazy, and they're both carrying, like in Yoni's picture, one loaf of bread out the door. Crazy. That the Torah tells us, potter. Why? Shaloi kederech. That we can understand. It's shaloi kederech. It's not a normal thing. Even lazy people, and I know a lot of them, don't carry one loaf of bread from one. It's actually a very hard thing to do. You know, not to trip over each other and carry it. So if you do it like that, potter. That's the second miyut. Now, what does he do with the third miyut? Why shouldn't we use the third miyut for the big chiddush? Zeni yachal, zeni yachal. They both cannot do it, and they do it together. You should be potter. Why? Because I need that third chiddush, that third miyut, for a case where Sanhedrin says, go ahead and do Naveira. Today it's mutter to eat chaylev, they say. Says the Torah, you made a mistake because Bezdin lied to you. They made a mistake and they told you could. You potter. That's what the pasuk says. Reb Shimon, Yachid Shasaber as Bezdin chayiv. Since Reb Shimon is using that limud, the third limud, to tell me the case, the unbelievable case of two people that are carrying a really heavy object, and they bring it out to Rosh Hashanah, they're both potter. So Reb Shimon now doesn't have a way to learn that if Bezdin tells you to do something that's asur, that you're potter. So he's going to have to hold that if Bezdin tells you to do something that's asur, you are actually chayiv. You should know better than Bezdin. You should know better than the Sanhedrin. I just thought about something. It's very interesting. Okay, it's not our sugya. But sometimes when even Sanhedrin, imagine Mordechai Tzaddik, and they tell you, do something that you know it's asur, you learned in yeshiva is asur, you don't listen. They told you. You have to know better. You can't just blame Doilim. You can't just blame. If you know better, then you can't blame people. V'remeir mi chsiv nefesh techta, achas techta, ba'asoisa techta. Look, it only says techta one time in green. Why are you saying that each red goes with the green? Nefesh techta, achas techta, ba'asoisa techta. It doesn't say that. Therefore, Remeir is to the exact extreme, the opposite extreme. There's only two miyutim. What are two miyutim? Nefesh achas goes together, says Remeir. Nefesh achas. This is how you talk. When people say one nefesh, that's how you say it. You don't say nefesh. That's how the Torah talks like people. Nefesh techta, nefesh achas. And then you have ba'asoisa. Okay, so Rameir agrees that if one person does akira and the other person does hanacha, they are patur. So Rameir skips all these miutim, and therefore he holds that even in a case, the middle case, of zeh yachal, weirdos carrying out a small loaf of bread, and it's mamish not the derech to do it, Rameir holds that they are chayiv because he has zero limud for it. He only has two limudim to start off with. He's mechulik on Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon to begin with. He says this pasuk only includes two limudim. One of them goes, you're right, one of them goes for a case of shnaim shasua, meaning one is the akira, one is the anacha. But when two of them are doing it, when they could do it individually, they could lift it by themselves, and they're doing it together, there is no limud for that. I need that limud, the second limud, to tell me the case of Sanhedrin telling you to do something that you are potter. In a case, guy has a lot of muscles and he could lift it by himself. The other guy is a weakling, or as Taisus said, he's using one finger. But who's chayav? Which one do you think is chayiv? What makes the most sense? And what about the guy that's really strong? He's potter. The guy that's really strong, he can lift it by himself, and then a little kid comes in and helps him with a finger. So the guy with the finger is chayiv, and the guy that's really strong is potter. Mapitam. No such thing. That was never havamina. So Taisus maybe explains that was pasha that guy's chayiv, but the question is even the other guy chayiv? Okay. Hey minayu chayiv. Amar Rav Chizda zeh sheyachal. Of course, that one that's strong and he's lifting it, he's doing it all by himself, and the other guy comes and assists him. That guy, the sister, is nothing. The izeh she'eni yachal ma'ika avid. What is he doing? He didn't do anything. Like you were asking before. What did the guy accomplish? He didn't do anything. What do you mean? What was he doing? He helped out a little bit. He lifted 5 pounds out of the 100.
The guy didn't need him.
He didn't need him, but he did lift. He did lift.
We don't need moral support. It's a question of we don't need it. Well, why are we high?
Don't need and yes need. A lot of things you don't need, but I carried on Shabbos. I carried 5 pounds. Okay, what?
It's abnormal for the guy who's strong. It's normal for the guy who's weak team help. It's abnormal for the guy who's strong team help. So it's a shina.
Yeah, but you can't come along and make a shina for me. Who says you can make a shina for me?
He doesn't even want him. He's like a pain in the neck for this guy. He's like, get out of here. Why are you?
Okay, so here's the next line. Omar Lei.
He didn't say that because he didn't want to hurt the guy's feelings.
Listen to this.
He did say it. He said, get out of here.
Omar Lei misayeya ein boy mamish. It's nothing for me. So look at Rashi, Dibra Maskal Ein Boy Mamish, just so we get he says it a lot better than I could ever say. Ein Boy Mamish. Misha Einoi Elam Mesayeh B'Davar. A person who's only helping out. V'imbola Soyse Levada Ein Yachal. He himself cannot do it. You could still say what Taisa is saying, that he cannot do it with his pinky. And maybe he could do it if he used all his strength. But the way he's doing it right now, he can't do it by himself. Ein Boy Mamish. V'loi Choshev Midi. V'loi Miftar Idach. He cannot, he's not adding anything. He's nothing. He's a zero, big fat zero, and he certainly is not going to make a shinui or whatever you were saying for the guy that's strong. He can do it on his own. Omer Rav Zvid Mishmei Derava. So now the Gemara brings a number of rayas. Now check this out. Again, let's think about this for a moment before we jump into it. If somebody's laying on a bed, how much does each one of the feet of the bed carry in terms of his weight? Quarter each. That's what you say. Quarter each. 25% each. Now, what if I remove one of the legs? The bed's going to fall down. So how much now? Does it change the way you were thinking about it? If each leg is so important that without it, the whole bed would collapse, right? You have a table, anything that's four-legged, and I remove one leg, will fall down on the floor. So is it only 25% that it holds? Perhaps it holds more. Perhaps halachically, we have to view it as if each leg holds 100%. Not that it physically holds 100%, but since without it would collapse, so halachically, it has an importance as if it's 100%. Because each one without itself, there would be nothing. That's the way to look at it. It sounds funny, and that's how the Gemara really remains. If this Zav, this guy that has all the Tumah, he's a Zav, and a Zav creates, first of all, he could touch, that's Maga, but there's something much worse than Maga, called Medras, which we learned just recently. So he's on a bed, laying on a bed, he creates Mamish, the worst Tumah, very strong Tumah. But there's a halacha when it comes to Medras. As Rashi points out here, Medras has to be most of his weight. Roiv, Gufa, it has to be most of his weight. Taliyos means talaisim. Tachas ragli amito. Each leg is standing and putting weight on one talus. Now, according to you, Shmuel, that a bed, that each leg only holds up 25% of the person's weight, body weight, then the talus underneath that leg should be tar. Why? Because we just said that in order to have tumah from a zav, medras, it has to hold most of his weight. So it has to have at least 51%. 25% weight is not enough to make it tameh. And if you can divide all his weight between the four legs, there shouldn't be any tumah to any of the talaisim, yet it says here, tmeos. Every one of the four talaisim are tameh. Why? And it goes on to explain. Since the bed cannot physically stand on three, so it's like zeni yachal. It's like our case. Each one cannot do it by itself. Each leg by itself is nothing. So each one is chayiv. Naftali, you're enjoying that way too much. It's not even a chart. It's just me. Look, I'm right here. When I'm bigger over there, what am I doing? Is it bigger? Is it larger than real life?
Eli, you don't need that to be larger than real life.
By the way, guys, you should speak to Gary. I don't want to get involved, but I think that that ticker on the bottom probably could go off like after a few minutes. I don't think we needed the entire share. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Depends how much they pay.
What?
Depends how much they pay.
Right. Okay. So we should have like this, like a scale. It should say.
Sponsors moving fast.
No. So they said a few people said they don't like when it moves. It's distracting. So we keep it in one thing. But the question is, for how long?
Depends what size font.
Also, how much did I read in the email, which I don't like to do. But if there's a long, okay, whatever. Yeah, one font. Fine. Reb Shimon Mitar. Okay, so Reb Shimon is Mitar. Why? He says each one is considered a Messiah, each one is helping out, and therefore it's nothing. A Messiah, we said, Ein boy mamish. Nothing. You said a Messiah, a helper is nothing. Each leg is a helper, and the helpers, though, they don't have any value, and therefore Reb Shimon says, Tar. What about on an animal? Instead of a bed, you have an animal. You have the same case. Why? The animal could balance itself on 3 legs. Over here also say that each leg is a helper. So here you see that helpers are not considered anything. No, perhaps a helper is something valuable. Maybe by the animal's case is something completely different. It actually lifted up its leg completely. It's actually standing on 3 legs. And sometimes we don't know which one it lifted up. And therefore it should be like Tamei Misafik. It should be like a flipping over Zav. A Zav that lays down on a number of benches, tables, beds. Have a picture here. Here you have 5 benches, 5 tables, call it whatever you want. Depends how the Zav is laying down. If the Zav is laying down this way, like the red, so then it comes out that each table is not carrying his full weight. You have to have roiv weight, and it's not. It's spread out on 5 tables. That was around his head. This is under him. Okay, now, this guy, blue, does make this table tamei. Okay? Because he's laying la'oirech. He's on the length. His oirech of his body is on the length of the table. But if he's laying like the red on the roichav, he's not tamei. Why? Because each table is supporting 1/5 of his weight. And that's not enough for tumah. Pundais is a money belt. Same idea, same thing, just there's a little chiddush there. The money belts, a zav cannot make anything tamei. We said, if let's say he sits on a pail and the woman wants to do sponja, she says, Amoid v'nasam lachtenu. So on a money belt also, we should say, Amoid v'nasam lachtenu, says Rashi, I could get into my money. Don't worry, I could get to my money. He's not, I open up the zipper, pull out the money. Fine. But it's the same idea. La'arkan tmeim, l'rachban tahirim. If he lies to the roichav, tahar. Yashen, what if this guy is lying like this and he fell asleep? Red could turn into blue while you're sleeping. You don't know what direction you're going. Some people start moving around on their beds, especially an uncomfortable table. He might go la'irech and make a table tamei. Yashen, something mishaben aleim tmei. Elolav. And therefore what? How come by animal we don't say that misafik it should be tamei? Everything should be misafik tamei. Maybe he lifted this leg and put all those weight on that. Maybe he did that. How come by animal you don't say everything should be tamei misafik? Just like we say, just like when he went to sleep, maybe he turned around. So maybe an animal put all its weight, lifted the other leg, not that leg that you think. At the end of the day, we have to say that an animal also, each leg doesn't accomplish anything. It's just helping out. And a helper is nothing, is zero. And therefore, the talis that's under a helper is nothing. But each one is a helper. So all the talisim are tar. Omer Apapi Mishmei Derova Hanan Namitanin. I'll bring you another raya. Top of Tzadik Gimel Amud Beis. Hasus Metama Al Yodov. A horse, if you put talisim, depends which four of its feet. The four legs, they become tamei. The hind legs, not. Because the way a horse is built, he puts his body weight forward and not back. So he can lift up his back legs. And I don't know if you ever got one of those, it's called in Hebrew, zugia. It's not a comfortable thing. I didn't really get one, but I almost did. If you start up with a horse and you play around with its tail or whatever, it puts its weight on its front, and it'll give you a nice gesunta kick with its rear leg. So, I'm not saying that, but it doesn't do the opposite. Usually, sometimes the horses, they jump up, and okay, fine. That's not the right. The point is, for whatever reason the Gemara says, horse goes on its four legs. Hachamar is the reverse, al raglov. He puts its weight on its rear legs. That's why if you put a talis underneath its rear legs and you're a zav and you're sitting on the horse, on the chamar, the talis becomes tamei. And if you put the talis on the four legs on a chamar, it's not tamei because that's not where its weight is. Shemishanis asos al yadav on the four legs, v'chamar araglov. V'amai hokam sayabad doding. Even the back ones of the horse should be tamei. They're helping out. So what's the answer? Helpers are nothing. We don't care about helpers. Go away. Goodbye. I forgot what he said before, but some lashon like we care about the end result. The guy's just a helper. Fine. Yeah.
The 3 legs are no longer helper legs anymore.
The what? 3 legs are?
They're no longer helper legs anymore. You have 4 legs.
Yeah.
Take one away.
Right. That was before. But now we're not even talking about that. Now we're talking about 4 to 3. 4 to 3.
Oh, you had 3 before.
Yeah. No, over here we're talking about 4. He's on his front 2 legs. Those are but the Gemara is saying 2. 2, you agree that a horse can't stay on 2. So how come if you put something on the back leg, it's tar? Because he's still a helper. Still a helper. Omer Ravashi, Afanana mitanino, Rebeleza oimer raglo achas al kliv raglo achas al rizbo. We're talking about a kohen that does avoida, like we learned in Kachim. Kohen, his feet, he's barefoot. Why? Because his feet need to be on the floor of the Beis Hamikdash. He cannot be on some sort of device or anything else. Even on a shoe, he can't wear a shoe. So certainly he cannot be on a kli. So raglo achas al kliv raglo achas al rizbo. If he is semi on the floor, 1 foot and 1 foot up, or one is on a stone, royin, it depends. Right? We have the same halach in Shemona Esrei. If you're leaning, let's say, on a stender, is that okay? No, it's not okay. If I take the stender away and fall flat on your face, then it's a problem. Obviously, if you're an old person and that's the only way to do it. But some people like to go like this, lean, that's a problem. Because if I remove that from you and you're going to fall, then it's as if you leaned and you're not allowed to lean. Same thing here. If I take out this stone and the coin flops down on his face, then the stone accomplished a lot. Then he's using, like Shmuel was saying before, 3 to 2, 2 to 3, whatever. If I need all that weight, if it's holding up my weight, pashut, then the coin was not yoytze d'avoida because he's not on the floor. If he could remain standing on one, he's able to balance himself. Then it's great. But at the end of the day, who cares if he could carry all his weight on 1 foot? He has a helper, the helper guy. Yeah, okay, he could do it. Yeah, I'll start going like this and he'll get out of balance. But right now, he's not doing that. He's not balancing himself on 1 foot. The other foot is helping him, 25%, 10%, whatever it's doing. At the end of the day, it doesn't help me anything. Another halacha we learned extensively in Zvachim, Menachos, you have to do the avoida with your right hand. If a kohen does it with his left hand, avoida psula. So what happens? We had this also in brachas, for instance. When you hold the kiddush cup, you have to hold it with your right hand. You're not allowed to even assist with your left. It's not considered. So says the Gemara, he he did the Kabbalah Saddam. The blood is streaming out of the animal's neck, and he grabs the kli, and he does Kabbalah Saddam. He grabs the blood, he captures the blood, but he's being helped by his left hand. It's kosher. V'amai. Hokam say at the end of the day, he has a helper. So go back to the right. It has no mamish mamino. If two people could carry the small loaf of bread, Remeir says you are chayiv. Great question. What's the shear of taking out bread? If an individual takes out bread, how much bread is he chayiv? A gregaris, a dried fig. Now that you have two people that take out the bread, do you need 2 figs? 1 fig per person? Yes, they're doing it together in order to be chayiv though, or each guy, or they're taking out 1 fig, and they're still chayiv because each one took out a whole fig together, b'shutfus. Anytime you have shutfus, anytime you have a partnership, you have that question throughout Shas. It's like the oldest question in Shas. When you and I own a building together, do we each own the entire building individually? Or I own 50% and you own 50%? You understand the question? Do we own each molecule together? Or we're divided somewhere. We don't know where it is, but 50 is mine, 50 is yours. You could say no, that each person owns 100% halachically. Each part of the building is his 100%. So the same kind of question here. At the end of the day, each one, if you're going to break it up and say each one took out a half a gregaris, it's no chiyuv, because Shabbos you need a gregaris. But you'll say no, each one, even though there's only 1 gregaris there, each one halachically took out the whole thing. That's how shutfus works. That's how a partnership works. Shila zev shila zev dilma shir echad lekula. Rav Chizah Rav Amnuna. Chad omar shila zev shila zev. One of them says, yes, you need 2 gregaris, you need 2 figs. V'chad omar shir echad lekulon. Omar apam shmei derava afanana imtanina. So now the Gemara, interesting, just like before we brought a ton of rayas to Messiah, but Mamish, now we have a bunch of rayas for this. He was the zav was on top of a bed, and under each leg there was a talus. Tmeos, they're all tamei, because we explained the bed cannot stand on 3 legs. You hear the question? How could one zav give tumah to 4 different talaisim? One zav could only give tumah to 1. You need 4 zavim for that. Each zav is only 1 shear. You need a roiv of his body weight on each talus, and you don't have roiv of his body weight. Elomai, when there's a partnership of legs, you view it halachically as if the zav is on 100% on each leg. Halachically. Not scale-wise, but in svara-wise, in logic-wise. In other words, we literally look at it as the zav is 100% on each leg. A deer goes into a house, and one guy locked the door, chayiv, that's considered trapping. And if 2 people took the door together and closed the door, they trapped it, p'tur. But if it's a giant door like in Shar, what is it called over there in Yerushalayim? Shar Yafo, thank you. Wow, that was quick. Shar Yafo, the thing weighs, I don't know, thousands of pounds, and one guy can't do it by himself. And there's a nice the deer, and you try to trap it, a chaya, and you try to trap it so it's 2 people that push the door. At the end of the day, you need 2 deers. 1 deer is good enough for 1 person. How is 1 deer a trapping for 2 people? How can 2 people be chayav on 1 deer? Another raya. If 2 people stole, now if 1 person steals something, what does he have to pay back? Kefil, double. When do you pay daled v'chamisha? Arba v'chamisha? When you steal an animal and you shecht it. If you steal a sheep, 4, because they had the busha. Steal an ox, 5. 5 times the amount you stole, you have to pay back. What happens if 2 people stole together and 2 people shechted it? They took the knife and they went like this. Chayavim, they have to pay 4 times the amount, 5 times the amount. You need enough to shecht for each one individually. Another right. Shagardi is right over here. Pretend this yellow thing. When you're done putting in your stuff, you take the kana and you push everything backwards. You make it nice and tight with a stick that goes right through. So 2 people did it. Chayav, and both of them are chayav. Each one should do like a shear of a beged, whatever the shear is. Wait a minute. He's jumping off. Don't bring me a raya from this special stick. Maybe this special stick, the shear is not to make a beged and to do something with the loom. The shear is to put it on a fire and burn, to make an egg. Somebody just wrote me, Avram Ben Zev wrote me, how many calories do you need? He did a whole research. How many calories the stick has to be in order to make a fire? So you take the stick, and it's a larger stick. I can make 2 eggs. Maybe that's what's going on here. So then why are you talking about a case of a gardi, of a loom? Just say stick. End the story. We're just going to go to the Mishnah. Don't worry about it. But who told you? Okay, so it's talking about a loom. But maybe it's such a stick that has enough, it's long enough that it can make 2 small clothings out of it. Okay, great. Let's scratch that one raya. We learned that 2 people that took out this gardi loom thing, they're potter. Reb Shimon Mechayev. Klapid Laya, it's the exact opposite. What's going on here? Reb Shimon is the whole time he's consistent saying that Shnaim Sheitziyua are potter. He's the most mekel, and throughout the whole Shabbos, mekel. What do you tell me now? He's chayev? You're right. Elaima chayavim. Reb Shimon poiter. In fact, it's Reb Shimon. Nachum, get ready. It's a little tillim. Reb Shimon is the one that says you are potter. We have to flip it around. Have a wonderful, wonderful day tonight. If you want to hear the shir again, 9:15. Yes. What do you say?
A few new people.
Yeah.
That I noticed. Jeff Rosenberg from Harris, Pennsylvania.
Oh, from where? From Harrisville?
Harris,
Pennsylvania. Wow. Okay. Shalom Aleichem, Jeff.
Yankee Krause from Borough Park.
Yankee Krause from Borough Park. Another Borough Parker. Eli Dykman. Say Shalom Aleichem to your buddy over there from Borough Park. Yisrael Goldstein. Another Borough Park. Yeah. Who?
Lindsay brought him.
Eli brought him.
And David Address says hi too,
Of course, but Yoeli, I don't understand. Yoeli, I told you got to bring some guys from Lakewood. I need more guys from Lakewood. All right, Rabbi, so we're going to do some Tehillim now. Yishkoyach, thank you, everybody. A little bit till, and then we'll shmooze for a minute or 2.